Welcome to episode 4 of the Reign of Anarchy podcast. Now, the viewers last week, you guys picked early access, betas, alphas, everything surrounding that sort of subject up. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try our best to understand it, what it is, why it was implemented in the first place. Is it good for the gaming industry? Is it good for us as consumers? And we're just going to basically shoot shit and talk about it. Now, this will be going out on the YouTubes as well. So don't forget, if you don't catch this now, it'll be up on the YouTubes over the weekend. So you can catch it up on there. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Yes, gobble, gobble, gobble. But we have got a little change in the pecking order, shall we say, this evening. So we have got a couple of new additions. Well, one was here last week, but we've got some new additions, some new people. They only have one thing in common, and they are all Reign of Anarchy community members. But we have got the legend that has rushed home from work to get involved in this. The absolute legend that is Morsey. So Morsey is joining us this evening. And then we've also got...
You are a smelly
Yes, I am a smelly pirate hooker. We have got the guy, right? This guy, and not only is he a Reign of Anarchy member, but he has been famous. He is famous where he currently lives, over the other side of the pond. And he is famous for starting up his very own backyard, front garden business. Okay? Now, this man will trim your bushes, he will mow your lawn, and he will trim the fucking, whatever you need trimming, whatever you need sweeping, and he will do it all on the back of an alligator. We have Run Gun, the absolute legend. And then also we have Victory T, new addition, been a community member for a long time. He's never actually won a game at all. So he's never had a victory cup of tea. But there we go. Hello, lads. How we doing? The best hillbilly. Trim my gash.
I've won many. I'd like to point this out. I've won many games. Fuck you. I won at least one Apex Legends game and at least one Fortnite game. So sucker knob.
You have.
Is that only because there was two people in the whole map?
Yeah,
Fuck you, Victory.
Yeah,
that was you against the bot.
God.
yeah, and the bot jumped off the cliff as well. So.
Oh god. Right. So yeah, I thought I'd give you guys a little introduction.
Fuck you, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Piece of shit.
Yo, Corvus, how you doing, my friend? Bambi Rampy, Ragey boy, how we doing? How we doing? Can't trim what doesn't exist. Oh my god. How we all doing, guys? Are we good? Right, early access. Early access, what is it? What is it? Why do we have it? And
I have to go on Wikipedia quick.
Oh my God. What about?
Corvus, are you still on Twitch or have you moved over to YouTube? Sorry, Ron.
Fucking right, you're sorry. Interrupt me again. I'm leaving this bitch.
Oh god. What was you gonna say, Ron?
You don't make me forget.
You said like interrupt me again, I'm leaving this bitch, and then you just like dropped a silent bomb on there. So if you guys don't know, the Call of Duty things come out today, the update, and it's 28 gigabytes, and Run Gun is itching to fucking play it. So I owe him big time for dragging him away from the game.
I tried playing Tarkov today too.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah, seen a floating guy. It's a beta though. It's a beta.
It's a beta. It's a beta.
Oh, it's topical.
It's
beta,
topical as a beta. Okay, so early access, betas. How does it work, right? So the way I understand early access, betas, whatever you want to call it, is it's a more open source way for the developer to get feedback on their games, right? Iron out any bugs and that sort of shit, right? Because when games first came out, there was very little that could go wrong. So all of the development was done in-house. You know what I mean? With the with the development team, or they may get some outsiders to come in and play it. But it was very small, sort of testing period. Whereas obviously games have got more and more complicated over the years as technology's grown, and now there are so many little things, as we all know, as most of us here are Division players. There are so many little things that can cause bugs that can break the whole fucking game, right? So,
Fucking hell. That's another story.
well, yeah, that is a complete another story. Thank you, Gensh, you legend. So, it's a way for developers to get feedback, iron out any bugs that they may not find in their testing process. And also, when you think about it a little bit more, it also gives smaller developers a chance to, it buys developers time, right? If you're releasing something in early access, or it's a beta, it's an alpha, it's not being packaged as a sold product. Like a complete product, sorry, not a sold product, a complete product. So something that's not fully completed and something that needs to be worked on and will be worked on. But it will only be finalized and finished after it's got the player basis feedback. Does that make sense? That's what I understand it as.
Basically, yeah.
Basically. All right. So we kind of all know what that is. So Ginge has posted a link for the poll as well for the topics for next podcast. They are microtransactions in video games. Flash. What did you say, Morsey?
Pay to win.
Pay to win sort of shit. Also, you can vote for graphics cards, the pandemic we had, and where we are now, technology-wise, with graphics cards and things like that. And basically, I have someone that a friend of mine that is very, very, very knowledgeable when it comes to that sort of stuff, and the silicone, the resources that kind of dried up, hence why we couldn't get cards and things like that. He knows a lot about it, so he's going to come on and talk if we pick that one. And third-party game stores, so such as G2A, Penguin. There's a Penguin one, I think it's called.
CD keys,
that sort of stuff. And
GOG.
Yeah, and actually look into how they work, how they operate, and actually look into why they exist. And I think after doing a little bit of research myself already on the subject, I think it's going to highlight some bits. So, yeah,
I think there's a good chance that the first suggestion about microtransactions is going to be the winner.
Well, yeah,
without a doubt.
And we can deal with the other ones. We can do the other ones at any other time.
Well, the
but
other
they're
two,
all
we
there.
could just vote again with them. But
Exactly.
The graphics card would be a good thing. I mean, just got on it real quick. I mean, it was only just down to the coronavirus, and there's not many people actually making the chips. That was the only problem.
Yeah.
But then, if you want to talk about where they're going, what we're doing now, that's another chat.
Yeah, there's also a global shortage of silicon, which is used for the chips.
Yeah, but they use it in other stuff as well, don't they? That's why it's short.
Yeah.
And obviously production stops, right? Production stops, so they're not harvesting and getting enough of it. And
there's more things in the world that are more important than a fucking graphics card that sits on your PC, you know?
I want to hear more about Run Gun trimming stuff. Maybe Run Gun could do a trimming podcast. Oh, there you go.
Ask Mrs.
That is Run Gun's reply.
This is just turning into
Okay, Corvus, don't talk to me about in-game stuff. Spent 70 quid on 2 skins in Valorant the other week. Ooh. Why the hell are they 70 quid, dude? Well, they're like rares. You have to buy them off the marketplace or something. That's crazy. That is crazy to me. But like, if you want those skins, you're gonna do it, right? Anyway, early access, right? Betas, alphas, all that sort of shit. Now, I suppose the best way of discussing this is we talk a little bit about where it came from. So, believe it or not, and a lot of you will probably know this or not know this, but the first sort of early access, beta / alpha, whatever word you want to use, game was actually in 2009, and it was Minecraft, believe it or not. I don't know if you guys know that. Did you guys know that?
No. I didn't know that. I know it's a game that you definitely have to play one day.
I'm never playing Minecraft.
What?
Putting it out there. I'll play it if Run Gun plays it. There you go.
That's a game that could probably run on a bloody laptop that you got from your next door neighbour for Christmas. You know what I mean?
I could run it on my phone probably. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you can. There is.
You only needed about like a gig of memory. You know, something you got from Dell back in the day.
Marsh prefers Roblox. I don't even know what Roblox is. People talk about this Roblox stuff all the time. I have no idea what it is.
Demo disc for the win. That's it, mate. Ginge remembers it. Demo disc used to get on. Do you remember? Is it called CVG magazine? Do you ever remember that? Any? Oh, your boys are young, weren't you? There used to be a magazine. Used to come. Ginger, no, you can back me up on this. There used to be a magazine called CVG. You are a smelly pirate and you got it once a month, and you always got a demo disc with it.
Oh, okay.
On your I think it was. I can't remember if it was the first Xbox or P. I can't remember. But you always got a demo disc every month. But back then, I'm going. This magazine was like £6-7. I'm going back. Now,
2 nights. The only magazines I had as a kid, Morsey, were the ones that got stuck together after a day.
Well, what was that? Fiesta.
That's the
Fiesta, the thing you found in the back garden, mate, down the me and mate's garden.
That's the only magazines I ever had, mate.
Don't let him lie. He's still got a box of them under his bed.
I'm friends with the monster and it's under my bed. Anyway, 2 knives, $70. Jesus.
That's it, Ginger. You're right, mate. Yeah, used to be a 5.
That's mad.
Floppy disks. Oh my god.
So yeah, it was Minecraft, and then they basically then decided to release. So the first versions of Minecraft were free to play, right? And then they decided that they were going to make a paid version, which had all these other extra features and stuff. And it made €600,000 in the first year.
It was at this moment that
which obviously
he fucked up.
Back in 2009 was a lot of money. You know?
14 years onwards, mate, it's still the biggest game played in the world.
Yes, and that is mad. That is mad.
I think they said something like they're in the billions now of how much money they've made in it.
How long was it in beta? Anybody know that?
Oh, Minecraft. I think maybe 2, 3.
Well, back then it would have been like, I don't think early access was quite as big then, was it? Was it? Is
and didn't it start off as a single developer? This article only references a single developer, Marcus Notch. Pearson.
Didn't Google buy into that Minecraft?
No, that was Microsoft.
Oh, was it Microsoft?
Microsoft.
Yeah, they bought it off from him for about.
It's Lego for poor. Scraps, I can't afford it.
Mate, we could have an hour-long discussion about the inflation.
Yeah. Well, we could. Yeah, don't even talk about that.
Lego is so expensive. God.
I got some bloke at work that's kicking off.
Stick to the agenda.
Yeah, he's kicking off that he had to buy his missus some Lego for Valentine's Day, and it cost him a fortune or something.
Who did?
Some lad at work today kicking off, and I was like, well, I remember back in my day, you know, whining and dining, you'd maybe get some strawberries and cream and a card and some flowers and that. I didn't realize these kids were buying each other fucking Lego and shit. You know what I mean? It's mental.
Mate, I went out with a bird. I bought just quickly. I bought he said, "Oh, I really want this JCB Tractor Technic Lego." I said, "Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, £172 it was."
Oh,
I was like,
damn.
Okay. I don't really speak to him anymore. But he put it up on his shelf and left it. But it was £172. It took him like an hour to make it, and that was it.
Wow, and it just stayed on the shelf.
And then I thought I was going to get mug tattooed on my fucking head, but I didn't bother in the end, you know. 172. He wanted this other thing. It was like I don't know, some kind of boat thing as well. It was like £200 plus. I'm like, what? And I'm going back 10 years ago.
Oh, wish. Yo, bro. Well, at least they're building blocks in their relationship. It all ties together, doesn't it? This is all tying together. So basically, with Minecraft success, so dozens of other small developers, early access developers, basically it gave them an opportunity to make money while they were still building the game, making the game, right? So they can sell you very similar to what the Tarkov Star Citizen, that sort of, that's the only one that I've bought into. So that's the only one I can really talk about from experience. But that sort of model that, you know, here's a snippet of the game. Here's a closed alpha. Here's an extended closed alpha. Oh, now we've got a closed beta, but in order to play our game and to be in the beta, to be part of the development cycle, you need to give us X amount of money for this version of the game. Does that make sense? So that's what a lot of small developers are doing,
That might have been
and still doing.
That might have been something related to when internet access became much more readily available to people's PCs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where instead of having a small, you had to physically go to an office to beta test a game or alpha test or whatever.
Yep.
Then became more digital and say, oh no, now you can just do it from the comfort of your home, and probably started to find a way to charge from there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sort of curious who was like the first. Well, it might actually be Minecraft. Oddly enough, but I was just thinking, what was the first like beta that started charging money?
Yeah, it was Minecraft. Yeah, it's Minecraft. So basically, everyone just jumped on the bandwagon and started doing it, right?
Which I think is something you need in like
Oh, nowadays,
for me buying a game. Being in beta is fine, and it's a stress test on the actual servers that the game's actually going to be played on. Like I'm fine with that. It's when you get into the Tarkov beta to where every problem they have now is, oh, we know it's a problem, but just remember the game's in beta. Don't worry about it. It's in beta.
Yeah,
like an excuse.
That's the excuse.
Exactly. It turns into an excuse in the real game.
It's not
never
actually a
comes
problem.
out.
They know it's a problem. They can't get hold of it. They can't fix it properly, and then they go, "Well, it's just a beta, so you're going to get these problems." And you're like, "Well, 6 years down the line, mate.
But also, don't you think? I mean, take sort of Tarkov away from it. Don't you think also it's a really good excuse for a developer as well, in the fact that the consumer's expectations aren't. If you EA and you release a brand new game, right, and you charge everyone $60 for it, and it's full of bugs, right, you're gonna be fucking fuming, right? But if you play a game for free on an early access platform, whether it's a beta, alpha, whatever, and it's got some bugs in it, you expect that, right? Your expectations of the product's lower, right? So why wouldn't you, even if you were a big developer or a small developer, why wouldn't you have a beta to test your game?
That's what I mean. I don't think
sometimes it's more work than what it actually is.
Yeah.
One
you'll
thing
you'll find that betas from the alphas are just a development fucking developer's own little bit they've done. So like 2 hours of this gameplay. There you go. Go and have 2 hours on it. See what you feel.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of Battlefield 19. What was the last one? Not 1940. It was 2042.
2042. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not the only Battlefield that's done this. But when they say, "Oh, we're releasing a multiplayer beta," literally, what, like 2-3 weeks before the game officially comes out?
That was stress test for the servers. That was.
Yeah, but
that's all that was.
We were all like, look, when that particular game came out and it ran like absolute dog shit with glitches and all that, and we were thinking, I fucking hope this isn't the full game, and it actually
was. Yeah, because I remember me, bro, a few other people anyway played it, and I remember distinctly bro being quite excited about it because we were in between Division and other games at the time, and we were playing Battlefield 1, the World War one. Yeah. We were playing that for quite a while because we got it really cheap. It was on sale. We were playing that and we were having a lot of fun with it. And obviously 42, we played the beta. I remember bro saying to me, you need to download it and play it. It's free to play for this beta. And I remember playing it and thinking, this is okay, right? This is not as good as Battlefield 1, product wise. I thought, it's a beta. Whatever.
Well, that's
and then exactly your point. I was like, hold on, it's like 2.5 weeks until this game fully releases.
Yeah,
and I didn't buy the game because of that experience playing that beta.
Yeah, so it's not the first time that EA's done that. But as Morty said, it was a server stress test.
Why don't they say that? Why don't they just come out and say server stress test?
Because it's EA, they won't.
It's not a beta.
EA never do betas, I don't think. Formula One, not Formula One.
The only beta that I can remember that I definitely took a part of, and this was years ago, this was like 2009, was Halo Reach's beta when it was first in development. But that beta came out generally like 6 or 7 months before the game's official release.
Yeah.
So there was all that time to make tweaks to the game, and it ran really fucking well as well. It ran like a proper game, and there was loads of maps available, so it was like a full-on beta. So, as in,
there was Bungie, wasn't it?
It wasn't bugged as fuck like most betas are nowadays. It was actually running really well. Yeah, it was Bungie, and it gave plenty of time to get feedback. To like say, oh, this map needs tweaking because one team has an advantage on it or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's what I consider a beta, like something that comes out months ahead of time, so they can have plenty of time to figure it out and figure it. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Feedback.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, like from then to now, games have changed massively, right? The technology's like literally blown us out of the water, kind of thing. You know, but you're 100% right. Like it actually needs to be, like it needs to be done properly. From what we always get told, oh, test our game, give us feedback, we'll implement the feedback, and then we'll do another test at some point. Sometimes that shit just doesn't happen. Like you were saying with thingy Tarkov, for instance. They're a small, well, they were a small company, and this is just obviously a game that I know. So Tarkov did a closed alpha on the 4th of August in 2016. Okay, so that's a long ass time ago. Then they extended it to December. They did another one in December, and then they did the closed beta, which we're still in now, is the 27th of July, 2017. Okay, so 6 years the game has been in closed beta, right? But now this is a positive and a negative, in my opinion, right? The positive is, yes, I don't like their whole model of pay us this much money, you can pay the beta, right? But that money has allowed them to further the development on. Like, believe it or not, it is quite a slow process, but it is a very, very, very detailed, unique game, and they're using their own engine, which probably, as we all know, runs like trash. But they've literally built something from the ground up. They haven't bought assets off of, I don't know, websites or wherever you buy assets off. People were talking about that with that new Days Before, whatever it's fucking called, game. But there was just generic assets and stuff in the thing. But the alpha test is done. The alpha's done. We are in beta officially with Tarkov. But what it's allowed them to do is that people have bought into it and they have spent the money, and it's allowed them to carry on producing the game. Whereas a game like Tarkov, if betas and stuff didn't exist, it would have died on its ass back in 2016. You know what I mean? Because it wouldn't have had a chance to get popular. And one of the only reasons Tarkov got popular was from Twitch drops.
Yeah,
you had some top end streamers like Shroud and stuff that got hold of it. They started playing it, and Twitch drops became a thing where you would get in-game loot for watching the streams. That's how it became popular. And you still log into Twitch now, and you go to the Tarkov
easily
now.
100,000 every time. Every time you push it on, there's always 100,000 viewers, if not more.
Yeah. But that's how it got big. But
that, didn't he?
That wouldn't have got big if it wasn't for betas, right? If it wasn't for the beta and the alpha. Ark's beta was 7 years. Exactly what Rage just said. We were talking about that actually before the podcast started. I never played Ark, the beta or anything. The first time I played Ark was back in lockdown when I think Rage or Ginge bought it for me, basically. But, come and play this. Go and chill and play this. But yeah, apparently that was a really long beta, and they were charging people a lot of money to play that game, right?
Yeah, it was like I was mentioning it just pre-recording of this, that they announced like a price hike to like 50 or like 55, yeah, I think even 60 quid at one point, and the game was still in beta. It was just like, how fucking dare you? Your game's not even released yet, and you're bumping up the price. Like, what the fuck is that about?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Marketing, mate. They just see it as making money, mate, and that's it. Bump the price up like anything these days, isn't it?
Well, still, it's like your game's not complete, but you're increasing the price. That's just taking the piss. Like, not everyone can splash out money just like that willy nilly on a game that's not ready yet.
Now, see, the other problem I see with this whole model of pay us money while we're developing it, the product's not going to be perfect because it is a beta and it's being worked on, whatever, right? When does it then be perfect?
It's hard to tell. The one thing
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, one thing there's a couple of games that I know of that kind of fall into that category. One of them was the game The Culling. You remember I played a little tad of it on the when you were still playing on the console. I downloaded
okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a battle royale, first person, melee based game.
Okay, yeah.
And that was a game that I can't remember if it was in a beta stage or an early access stage. I think it was because it died because I think primarily they were listening far too much to people's feedback. Like people were saying, "Oh, it'd be really great if you had this feature." Then they did.
Right.
And then
Okay.
the whole game just became a mutated mess.
Yeah.
And then it all went to shit from there. I mean, I'm not 100% on that, but I heard that's pretty much what happened. And the other game I was sort of thinking of was like how long does a beta realistically last or early access last? Because
well, this is exactly my point. Yeah.
7 Days to Die is nearly 10 years old,
and it's still in early access.
It's still in early access.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they can't charge a premium for it either, can they? You know what I mean? They can't really.
No.
Yeah, I think once the game gets that old, is there any point putting it in full release?
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. And is it worth any money now? To be honest with you, old graphics, old mechanics. They are updating it still.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 9.5 years old. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's I did see oddly enough oddly enough on 7 Days to Die. I keep bringing it up, but still on their community hub, I was like flicking through it one day, and someone made like a little meme on the Steam community hub saying, "They go, oh, there's a side of people who get angry that it's not released yet, but there's also another side saying, oh, if it's in permanent early access, it has permanent free updates." I'm just like, that's true.
That is true. Yeah, yeah. But also, in 10 years, that game it opens up other doors for devs, right? Because they can have that little game on the side that they can just stay in permanently early access, right? But it's still generating money. Not a lot of money, but it's still generating money. Now, over a long period of time, if it's generating that little bit of money every month for a long period of time, that then gives that development team either a good fucking holiday or the opportunity to start a new project, make more games. Because you've constantly got that funding coming in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that.
So in that respect, that it actually could be a good business model. I
was just thinking like how, are they working on any games? And luckily Steam does have that feature, but on Steam at least they only have 7 days. So, and they're releasing another update within a year or so, which is going to change how you do shit in that game. So they're still working on it.
I mean,
but I don't know how many people are actually on it.
Yeah, and the only problem is with that sort of game, right, is as fun as it is fucking dated, right? It is. And technology within the last 10 years has come along so much that in order to put out 7 days as like a full release you'd have to rebuild the whole fucking game. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's too far behind.
That's so much recoding there. That's just too much.
I keep bringing it up, but with 7 days in particular, I saw the trailer for the new update, and they're redoing the some of the crafting and research. Like in the current game, you just put something into. Oh, actually, how do you do it again? I've completely fucking forgotten. How you like research things? Like, you find a book with a skill in it, and you just read it. That's not how it's going to work anymore. You have to like, if you want to learn how to build a gun, you have to like learn how to craft each individual bit, and then learn how to craft it, or something along that. So
Which
it's
there
just
are
like,
mods that already exist from the modding community that have that already
yeah,
in there.
tons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But you have to choose when you start the game. You choose whether you're going to be like an engineer, a scientist, a hunter, and that sort of shit. And then when you choose that path, you're locked into that path. But you can't be a scientist without having someone that's a builder, because you have to build stuff that they can use, and they have to build stuff that you can use. So it creates that sort of multiplayer,
Yeah, but
team
what I'm
sort of
getting,
base thing.
yeah, but what I'm getting on about is that they have an established system, and instead of adding loads of new content or whatever,
They're updating the system.
they're updating the system. But if you get into a point where you're having to update the system, is it? It's kind of hard to put into words, but is it still a beta really? Because the game is technically complete in its state. You're just updating things now rather than adding more content.
Also, if they release it as it currently is and they get a shitload of complaints or la la la, are they not liable for it because they're selling it as a full package? Whereas if it stays in beta, they've got their asses covered. In this day and age, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably the latter. If they keep it in beta, then it's
it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is, kind of thing.
Is there any like major betas that are out right now?
Tarkov.
Well, yeah, you've discussed Tarkov a little.
Is World War III still in early access or beta?
Yeah,
that was another one I wanted to speak about.
It is in an open beta still, yeah.
Because they're starting a battle pass thing. It looks like
fuck battle passes. Fuck off. Hate them.
But that was another one. Maybe we should talk about battle passes. Let's not get victory going. But that was another one that we all paid a tenner for to play the closed beta, didn't we?
Yeah.
I remember me, you, bro. Who else was it? Morsey? Who else was it? There was a few of us that paid money for that, and we barely played it, didn't we?
What, the World War 3?
World War 3, yeah.
Yeah.
They have been updating that game. Like it looks like a completely different game now than what we were playing.
It does look good. Again, I'm getting a.
It's your typical arena shooter, mate. Really,
I'm getting to, well, what it looked like, it was going to be like a proper Battlefield game that wasn't made by Battlefield developers, because, well,
yeah,
it looks like
I think
the
that's
publisher at least can't be trusted. Yeah, that was definitely what they were doing, but there was going to be like much more realistic abilities, like filling with your weapons a bit more and stuff like that, and bits and pieces like that, which would have been grand.
But also us. Oh, sorry, Vic.
That's right. There's that. Frankly, that awful-looking Ubisoft game, that X Defiant, that's coming out in July, beta-wise, for almost all platforms.
That's disgusting. That game. I'm just put it out there now.
Yeah, it just
played it. Done it. Nah.
Have you?
Yeah. Nah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm reading. Oh shit. My bad. I'm reading wrong information then. Yeah, it was really bad, wasn't it? It was just like the most generic fucking game going.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was absolutely. It literally just took four different areas of Ubisoft. So Division, Splinter Cell, Far Cry, and I can't even remember what the other one was. And they picked a character from each one, and you got to pick one of those characters, and it was just a 4v4 arena shooter. It was trash, absolutely trash.
Yeah, I remember the trailer came out, and I was just like, "What the fuck is this? It's just so much the most standard,
absolutely terrible. It was terrible.
Like, it had no personality to it. I think the one that's coming out in March, Hyenas, some kind of other first-person game from Creative Assembly, which is a bit funny because they usually are in the corner for strategy games. And so them doing a first-person.
What's this called?
Hyenas. So it looks like it's going to be some kind of. Hyenas is a PvPvE online FPS, which herds of remarkable characters. Okay.
All right. Let me just show a quick video of it.
Different abilities compete with each other for loot and fighting each other. Okay, so it's going to be a bit like the games that you have played before.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. wanna. Okay.
Apparently, it's got some elements of anti-gravity movement in it as well, so that could be an interesting twist.
I don't know what this is.
That's
But this is going to be in a beta, yeah?
Do you not have an ad blocker?
No. My new computer in it, I just haven't done it.
Sorry, I'm related, but I constantly take the piss of Lady Ned on that. This one has some shit.
I quite like the art style, to be fair.
It looks like the art style from a little bit Apex Legends.
Yeah.
And a little bit of that Spider-Man animated
I
film,
said stop playing with the
Multiverse.
merch and move.
Sort of did
Can't
that.
you see we're busy?
Yes.
Very busy, darling.
Anti-gravity soldiers. Good disc.
Kind of looks Borderlands type thing.
That's not necessarily going to be a good thing.
It looks like. Who's making this?
Creative Assembly, who normally do strategy games. So that's interesting.
Okay.
They've decided to have a pop at something else.
There you go. There's a beta to look into. Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming out in March.
Also, I just want to bring up a quick point that Rage has put in chat. That, games like Ark, 7 Days, and all that sort of shit, right? That have been in early access this long. Now, I completely agree with Rage that one of the reasons why these games are still going is because of the mod community. Right? Do you imagine playing vanilla Ark from when it first came out to now? Or playing 7 Days to Die, from when it first came out to now, without having these. You know what I mean?
Like that could be another interesting topic of how mods and mod
literally saving games. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Let me
saving
write that
games,
down.
definitely keeping them alive. Like as I said to you recently, I've been playing a great deal of Command and Conquer 3 Tiberian Wars, but I've been playing a lot of conversion mods on it recently because they are just absolutely fantastic mods, and
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying playing them. And yeah, that game is 2007 it came out, and it's still going. So I mean, there's still a decent amount of people playing on the second. I mean, we could make a podcast just on that, on modding, but also we could do it on like, you get like special launchers that people have.
Yeah.
Where the servers are shut down, so we made our own sort of deal, and it's still got an active community. There's a number of strategy games that I play that have that exact sort of support.
Yeah.
Where it's like people have put their time and effort into making a service that the main developer can't do anymore.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's stuff like that. But anyway, so where were we with the betas and early access?
You were just going through what ones are around. So,
Yeah, like what are coming out soon.
Diablo 4's got an open beta coming.
Yeah. That's
DMZ's out right now.
DMZ. Yeah, you've got like one of the biggest, arguably one of the biggest titles in gaming history, right? Call of Duty. That has got one of their. It is. There's no denying it. That's got one of their. Potential modes in beta right now. The DMZ. That is actually in beta. And again, it'll be quite interesting to see how long it stays in beta.
I don't understand why it's in beta, to be honest.
Again, Ron, they got that fallback to say. Honestly, I think the company that's making this Call of Duty has obviously had to make the campaign all this stuff.
Who's publishers? Activision.
Activision. I know they're a huge company, but they've the time frame to make Warzone a whole new other mode, campaign, and everything. They probably just ran out of time. If I'm honest with you, they got
they're the publishers, aren't they? Who's the actual company that makes it?
Yeah, you got Treyarch. There's like 3 or
Treyarch
4 of them that do.
Oh, it's Activision.
No, they're the publisher.
Yeah. Oh, you mean,
There's an actual. Yeah, it's like Treyarch when it used to back in the day. Used to have Black Ops, and then it went to the other one. So Black Ops was Treyarch, and there was
Treyarch, and then I can't remember myself. Yeah, I know.
It begins with you. I can remember because the company's just down the road from me.
Oh, bloody hell.
Humble? No, not Humble. Oh fuck! I'm gonna have to look it up. Anyway, carry on, boys.
I think Ron was just
Infinity Ward, Ravensoft.
Infinity Ward. That was
That's
it.
the one.
Well done.
Treyarch, Sledgehammer Games, Activision Shanghai, Demonware.
Yeah. One thing that you could definitely discuss, but I actually don't know anything about it, is the mishaps with the Skull and Bones beta. I don't really know anything about that personally. I know that it was quite restrictive, and you can only play for like a couple of hours.
6 hours.
What?
I don't know if I can talk about it now, right? I don't know if I can or not.
What's that?
The Skull and Bones beta.
Well, that they were saying you can't talk about the game features and stuff like that, but you can talk about the beta itself.
Is it an NDA on it?
Yeah, I think there was. Jins, can we talk about it?
If it's finished.
Nope, still NDA. Okay.
What?
Yeah, you
Can't
can't
talk about
mention
it.
What, you can't talk about how much time you had to play with it and how.
If they release a date for an open beta, then you can.
Okay. Well,
it's officially then going to.
We won't talk about it.
If you've got,
we haven't said anything. We haven't said anything anyway. So fine.
No. Yeah.
Unless they say otherwise, okay.
You know that Diablo fucking 4 is going to be just like Immortal, right?
But I do get quite a lot of closed, open, blah blah blah, whatever's betas cited from Ubisoft. Someone drag. Oh, Murphy's gone.
Oh, Arc 2. Is that going to be in beta and be in there for years?
I don't know actually.
I would have thought so.
I hope not.
It'll be early access then, won't it? It won't be beta anymore, will it? Be early access.
Yeah.
What about Payday 3? Do you think that would have a beta?
I don't know if it did or not.
That's actually really a question for Ginge and Rage, the two people who aren't here. So.
No, I don't know about that.
I would think. I wouldn't think it would. To me, it'd be more open world, like PvP type games that would actually need a beta.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling down like games that are meant to be released this
Depends.
year.
I think if some games, if it's got like, let me take an example. I'm going back to Diablo again. When you've got to do a lot of things in the game at once, yeah. Then I think that definitely needs a beta because you've got to make sure it all works. I mean, if you're just running fucking A to B, solve a little puzzle and then move on, not so much because it doesn't really need polishing as such, does it?
Yeah.
I think games that need to do a lot of things at once, like CODs, you're looking, you're moving, you're shooting, you're aiming, you're crouching, you're whatever. So that's all got to be working smooth.
Beta Payday will be a closed test. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, which that makes sense. To me, on games like Payday, you don't need the big open beta to have thousands of people test it type deal.
Payday would be just like 2 missions, couple of characters.
You can't really I'm just thinking you can't really do a beta with like an RPG, can you? I'm thinking like a Fallout game, because you'd have to restrict the map or
they'd just give
quests.
It'd be done by time, wouldn't it? They'd just give you like, it's 5 hours, go.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah.
And they might start you halfway through the game rather than at the beginning, because let's take it honest. When you do start most of the game, it takes you an hour or two just to get used to the bloody controls and shit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember what game was recent out. They sent you to I think it was like level 100, and they basically give you a last end of game kit, and they just there you go.
Didn't they do something like that on what was that fucking one we played that we thought was going to be the next Division game?
Outriders.
No, not Outriders. It was a recent one.
Oh, that.
Morsey, you played the shit out of it.
Sync?
No, not Sync. That's another one that pissed me off. Actually, Sync. Talk about that later.
The Descendant.
Descendants, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one that they made it very easy to unlock the end game gear, right? So you could test it all.
Yeah. That was done on purpose, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. That's pretty. You can tell the ones that are. For me, you can tell the ones that I've played that they've actually put thought into the beta, and they're actually gonna. No, I wasn't a fan of it either, to be honest, Roach. And the ones that are just buying time, if that makes sense. You know, under pressure from their publishers or whatever, and they need to get something out, maybe.
Yeah, that's all publishers doing that because they want their money.
Exactly, they want their investment out back in. You know.
That's why
Yeah,
that's why most of the EA games are shit because.
But does anyone?
The developers want to work on it more, but the overlords will say, "Nah, we want money now." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what Bungie pulled out, mate. Max Vision.
Yeah, I know.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
Did that have a beta?
No.
No, it didn't.
It didn't.
It had an alpha test, but that was private.
Private alpha test, and it's been released, and fucking people are loving it.
Yeah.
It's fucking Harry Potter. Everyone loves Harry Potter.
No,
it's nothing to do with the game.
We can't talk about it. We can't talk about it because it would invoke the wrath of incels.
There's a lot of controversy with that in the game at the minute.
Yeah,
There's a lot of Easter eggs in the actual game itself. It's slagging off a certain writer.
Right. Okay.
Brilliant.
Like like obviously fucking Harry Potter Quidditch is the biggest thing in Harry Potter, isn't it? There's the brooms, the fight, it's out there. They've asked why is it not in Hogwarts? Yeah, you've got a fucking the pitches in it, the stadium's in it, but you don't play the game.
All right.
And they're arguing. It's like, well, it's part of fucking everyone's saying, well, you're not Harry Potter, are you? Well, it's Hogwarts. You're the school. It's the same. It's just
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, right? I'm not interested in Harry Potter or anything, any of that sort of bullshit, right? That just doesn't interest me. If you are, that's fine. That's cool. That's brilliant. Loads of people are. Probably more people are than aren't. But and the game, some of the actual game, some of the stuff I've seen that flick through on Twitch or whatever, because everyone's playing it at the moment. And many people have said to me, "You want to get out in front of it, Marsh? You want to start playing?" I just can't bring myself to play it. I wouldn't enjoy it. I don't see the point in streaming something you're not going to enjoy. Just for some extra viewers and some extra followers. It's not organic to me, but
Clout.
yeah, it's not the way that I want to grow this the channel and the community. But anyway, it does actually look, some of the stuff looks fucking awesome. Like fighting dragons and the boss fights and all that sort of stuff. And the open world looks beautiful. It really does look beautiful. If you put I don't know, a Viking or something like that in there, I'll be on it. Like a carb on it, But it's just that whole spinny, spell, wizardry shit. Not really my cup of tea.
Leviosa!
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. But again, you're right, Maudsley. Something only had a closed beta and is so successful at the moment. So that just proves that you don't. They don't need to have early access, or they don't need to have beta in order to make a successful game.
See, that had if you bought a deluxe, you got a 72-hour pre-release. So
that's a single-player game.
Yes.
To me, that's different.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need a beta for that game, not an open beta.
No, that's the point.
Yeah,
it's a no PvP in it then.
Nah, but it's the fight scenes in it. What you got to do? It's not just like fucking do a spell. There's like Ginger said, the bosses, there's combos you got to do. You got to get in the right. It's not just like wave your mom. It's a proper fighting game.
So who was actually done by?
Let me have a look.
I'm not denying that there's like actual mechanics and stuff to it, but
You made Harry Potter.
It's just the whole concept of Harry Potter that doesn't really. But then you're right. If there's no.
It's made by Avalanche
Software.
Studio. Yeah.
Okay.
They are most well known.
Publishers obviously Warner Brothers because they own the rights to all that shit, don't they?
Yeah. I remember me and one of the guys from work, Cal, he was like, we were discussing it, saying, "Oh, it's made by Avalanche." They make the Just Cause games, which is like quite a substantial difference.
Yeah. Oh, I'd fuck what? What Harry Potter? Oh, I'd fuck what?
I mean, the reviews on Steam are just like very, very positive. There's no.
No, exactly. But again, right, I wasn't aware that it wasn't
No.
a PvP game, you know, or something that you could play with your friends. It was just solo. Again, yeah, you're right. Probably doesn't need a beta, right? I don't really recall any single solo player games that has a
Look, Harry Potter is such a massive franchise.
It's a franchise, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
It's like the recent Spider-Man games. You can almost smell the money coming off it.
It's smart.
Mad Max as well. Yeah, nice.
They had to absolutely make sure that it was as crisp and as perfect as they could possibly make it.
Yeah, exactly.
They said, take your time. We don't need those scrubs beta testing a game when it's going to be perfect on release because we're throwing so much money at it.
Yeah. I suppose, you know, it's the same with anything.
And then they've released
talks,
it on
right?
all three like platforms it's been released on. So obviously PS5 got the exclusive on it, so everyone's like, wank. So
I don't like games that do that shit.
I don't like it neither, but you know, it was out because I just think now that's another conversation you can have. Is, you know, Sony come in and go, all right, here's an extra fucking $5 million or whatever.
Oh,
give us an extra, and there's an extra level you can get in the game, but you can't get it on PC for another year. They've got a year exclusive on it. Now, back in the day on the Xbox day, I used to fucking hate that.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, when I was on console, I used to hate that shit.
Yeah, you used to buy COD, wasn't it? And it's like, oh yeah, but if you get on the PS5, you get an extra fucking new gun, and you're like, you can't get it elsewhere.
Hold on.
It used to rip.
Yeah, you're
right.
You're right. We could have another entire fucking podcast.
That's another whole conversation.
Yeah, they did that with Division 2, I think, on Xbox, right? They had
PlayStation. PlayStation got another. What was it?
I was PlayStation, and I don't know what I got. I got something extra.
And then it came out a year later.
Same with Epic, wasn't it? They had an Epic exclusivity on PC.
Yeah, it's just, you know, but there's no like for PC who back, you know, there's no one to sort of like, there's no backing behind PC, is there? There's no major company.
No.
PlayStation, Sony,
well,
Xbox is Microsoft.
Well,
so they can throw money at it. I know PC's obviously Microsoft. Well, you know, but they're not going to throw money at a PC game.
It's not the companies who like. There's no major company. It's the distribution platform, as in Steam or Epic. And then we were discussing that earlier, weren't we?
We were discussing that earlier.
Steam just make the loads of money, and but I mean, if Sony are going to come in like, here you go, we'll give you an extra £2 million if you make us a level, and we're just like, yeah, of course they're going to say yeah.
Yeah, I remember Mad Max. Mad Max was good. Again, Avalanche game.
Is that the recent one they did when they brought out Tom Hardy played him? Yeah. They released it. They redid it like they did Mad Max, didn't they? Again, and then they brought the film out. Sorry, the film came out, then they brought the game out, didn't they?
I think the both were in their own respected sort of.
You know what I mean? And the new Mad Max, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron.
Yeah, such a good film, man.
Fucking love it. Anyway, that's another conversation.
It is so many conversations.
Yeah, fuck talking about games. Let's talk about films.
Right,
what's your favourite porno?
So, do you guys know of any games that early access has ruined them? Like absolutely destroyed them?
I don't really think. Not being old, I don't really think you can.
I've only got two that come to mind.
It's always a backup. It's like, well, it's an early access, so you can't really complain. Well, you want us to bitch about your game and give you good criticism about your game, so that's what we're doing. And then half the time, you know, do they read it? I don't know.
The only one I know of is the one I brought up earlier, the culling, where they added too many shit features and sort of ruined the core element of the game.
You could also say that about the recent Call of Duty bullshit with DMZ, with, you know, them coming out and saying basically, if you guys don't know, you get insured slots, right, which is like your weapon any weapon, and you can mod it how you want to mod it and tune it how you want to tune it at its full max level, right? And you can unlock a maximum of 3 slots by doing quests. That's how the game mode works. You drop in, complete a quest, and you're supposed to extract. Right? That's the whole basis of an extraction shooter. It's exactly the same premise as Tarkov. It's not the same as Tarkov, but it's exactly the same premise. You put on a map, complete tasks, you extract. right? Tarkov's just got more of a looting aspect than obviously the DMZ. But the idea is you complete a certain amount of quests. Once you get a certain amount of quests completed, you can then unlock this insured slot. So the more insured slots you have, the more tuned and premier guns that you can spawn in with, right?
Right.
Now, Activision came out, or whoever came out, I'm just going to say Activision, and said everything's going to be wiped, right? Your whole stash, everything's going to be wiped. You're going to, in season 2, it's a new map, it's a fresh start, basically, you know? It's a beta at the end of the day. Everyone kicked the I've been grinding for 2 months to get these weapon slots. Me. A few days later, they turn around and say, everything will be wiped. Just to clarify, the weapon or insured slots will stay. Right? So that is actually a good example of a company, a development company, listening to player base. Right? And as bitchy or as sad as, I mean, a lot of us that play Tarkov are used to everything disappearing. You know, that level 6 armor that you got off a player once and you've left it in your stash for 3 months because, you know, you're too scared of taking it out and using your best gear when you can just get head tapped or whatever. It's just gone in like a click of a button. You know, it's wiped and it's gone and it's forever. So we're used to that shit. But a lot of people that aren't used to that shit kicked off about it and they got their way. And that was that's a prime example of what you were just saying in Victory, that the developers listen to feedback?
In this case, yes.
And, you know, like you say, it can be dangerous, which is also worrying.
But at the same time, it's Call of fucking Duty, for cross sake. They've got money to spare. If they're not gonna have.
Oh, of course they will. And people aren't going to not play their game if they had wiped the insurance slots.
Yeah,
but the fact is, they still. Of course, they would
be a bit salty, but they'd get over it pretty quickly.
Yeah, and they'd still play it. So
if they did it every single couple of months, then it would be a bit annoying.
What's that? Call of Duty's had a rough few. The only one I'd say, Rage, go back to Call of Duty's, I think number 4 was probably the most successful launch.
Yeah, and also, Rage, you got to remember that you play Battlefield 2042. You're like the only player in the world that still plays that game. Just putting that out there.
But then back in those early days of COD, they didn't really have a good multiplayer. The first ever multiplayer COD I played was Call of Duty 2, and that wasn't even. That was just there was no ranking system, no fucking running around walls upside down on your head and all that shit. It was just pure. Got your mates. Got the multiplayer done.
I don't think COD's ever had a rough launch. It just hasn't performed as well as previous
Worse when it brought out is when you could run across walls. That just
completely. They haven't made everybody happy. Is COD's problem. Like the first week they'll lose half their player base because everybody's pissed because they didn't get what they wanted in the game.
But at the end of the day, most Call of Duty fans don't want innovation. They don't want something new. If we're gonna sidestep as a little bit from here.
Yeah, let's do it.
What was the game that I thought a game that pretty much everyone hated out of the gate was Infinite Warfare, the one set in space and all that. And that game was shit. It was pretty bad, but it had elements of it that really could have changed the way the gameplay was. There was elements of it, such as when you became the captain of the ship, you could actually tell your repair crews to focus on a certain area of your ship to repair, which was at the same time could have been like a hub area. It could have been where you walked around. It would have had a little RPG element to it, but they didn't do that. And so it was like, oh, I want you to repair the flight bays first. So when I'm doing a mission, I have more air support. Or I want you to repair the drop pod bay, so I have more on ground support when I'm doing that. That's what they were hinting at, but it was literally nothing. It had no change in gameplay whatsoever. It's just like, and it was a case of with Black Ops 2, there was actually quite a lot of RPG elements in that. Like if you there was like some people who you had to save as like a side objective. If you didn't do it, it would actually change the outcome of the final level.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that was actually it was very unique in that regard because it was its own thing and it was something new. People still fucking bought it in droves, but people were slagging it off. But and with let's face it, I know you've played and it does look great, the most recent Modern Warfares, but they've basically ripped off the original.
Oh, of course they
Modern
have.
Warfare games.
Yeah,
and just like it's just
even
what people...
to the flow of the missions.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
it's like saying it's not new. I mean, they're pretty much openly saying it is a remake.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, but if they had to say that, you know, that's the thing as well. If they felt like they've had to say it, you know.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, most hardcore Modern Warfare fans don't want innovation. They just want the same plot every time. They want exactly what happened at the end of the last Modern Warfare. What was it, 2019 when it came out? And where fucking was it Captain Price lists off the names of everyone who was in the previous games, and everyone proceeded to shit themselves with excitement. I'm just like, well, that's not really like shocking content, is it?
No, it's not.
That's just it's just the same stuff. But the games in Call of Duty, especially that have innovated and changed in their own regard, have not performed as well because people don't like change.
It's like the crafting system within the new game, right? Personally,
is there? What? Are you serious?
No, I'm not joking. System. Personally,
oh my god,
there is a couple of levels where you have no weapons and you have to find stuff and craft it, make like smoke bombs and mines and that sort of shit, right?
Okay, is that just for like one level?
2 levels you have to do that shit in. It is a new thing that they've brought in. No, it's not terrible at all, and it's a new thing, and I think they're testing the water to see what they can do, right? And I think honestly that they're going to jump on, and I hope they do, because I think they're really going to jump on this extraction shooter concept of the DMZ. I think they're really going to jump onto that because of how successful Tarkov has been, and I keep referring back to Tarkov because it's the one that started it.
King.
Yeah, it is. How successful. Now, could you imagine, like we said, we argued, Pod's movement, Hunt's sound, and Tarkov's gameplay. Could you imagine them 3 combined to get, do you know what I mean? Like, it would be like mind-blowing sort of game. But I honestly think that Activision and what they've already got as a platform already could produce something that is incredible in the looter shooter genres, right?
Yeah.
The sort of looter shooter, extraction shooter. And I think putting the little bits of crafting in is way advanced sort of test. Does that make sense? To see how, and I think that's quite sad that they feel that they have to test the player base by implementing stuff in increments instead of just going, no, this is what it is. We've done this because this is what we believe in. This is the direction and what we want for our game. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
In a regard, that would be. This went really wildly off topic, but you've sort of inadvertently brought it back to betas, because that system.
I know I'm clever like that.
Yeah, well, lucky more like, and bitch, and so that system is in a regard a beta to like say, did you like that sort of system?
You are a
did you like how
pirate
that
hooker.
Yo, Brent.
What?
Brent's just popped in.
Rent. All right, fair enough. And that's how it is on that regard. It's just like, if you liked this system, then we might consider doing something.
Yeah, and then it opens up to be like, oh, you can craft stuff for your stash now in this game mode, and you can craft stuff. You know what I mean? And that is exactly what Tarkov did. How they incremented it as well.
I haven't obviously played DMZ or the recent ones.
Even in fuck faces.
But how rude. And
how rude.
How rude. And so I don't know if this is already a thing, but would you think the crafting in the DMZ would work? Like if instead of finding attachments.
Honestly, mate, honestly, I'm not fucking with you right now. And this is just my personal opinion. But honestly, if you could jump into the DMZ now, right, as the game stands, and you could run around and loot items, you could loot stuff to make attachments or find pieces of guns that you could build, and you actually had a stash outside of the game, somewhere that you could manage your stash, and you actually had quests that you had to build certain guns or make certain items, that sort of thing. Basically, a mini Tarkov with its own economy, it would fucking fly out the doors. You could put a 60 quid price tag on it, and it would fly out the fucking doors. Honestly, I personally think it would fly out the doors.
Just on the DMZ game mode.
Yes, exactly that.
Another
Exactly
$60
that.
on top
Yeah,
of what you pay for
it
Call
would.
of Duty. It would be V8.
It would.
Yeah, because if enough people said like, "Oh, that crafting system that was in the campaign, I actually kind of liked that,"
Yeah,
and they'd be like, "Oh, well, we might add it to the next DMZ mode and see if you liked it." Then I guarantee
Exactly.
everyone would jump on it and say, "This is the worst thing ever. Please remove." And then that's just how it would work. People would hate it immediately.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, Tarkov's its own worst enemy because yes, they've just brought out the map that they've been promising for 3 years, but they're so, I want to say, slow at developing, but I think they're constantly firefighting. Does that make sense? They're constantly putting out little fires here and there, and they're not getting the bulk of the development done. But my worry is if they don't hurry up and get a stable cheater free, well, not cheater free, you're never gonna get cheater free, but you know what I mean, get the cheating problem under control and get something fucking solid out on the market, out of beta, even if it's early access, then a company like Activision or a game like Call of Duty or a big franchise like that is gonna take this extraction crown off them. And I think that's gonna happen. Honestly think that's gonna happen. And I think,
now that they've sniffed water, I mean, I don't really know per se, but Fortnite is definitely not as big as it was ever since DMZ and Call of Duty started dipping their toe into it.
no.
Apex Legends has really shot up in popularity.
Yep.
And
again, free to play game.
Yeah.
Huge free to play game. But they have cancelled fucking Titanfall 3, which I'm pissed off.
Yeah,
well,
you haven't played number 2 yet.
I haven't played it. No,
experienced players like me and Morty
exactly
who have played it. You better fucking play that, cunt.
Well, it's currently winning on the vote, so
yeah,
could be the next thing.
So that's a good point. One vote each, people. Let's not have multiple votes. Like you can.
Oh yeah, I asked Run Gun to go on there and done it, and he just clicked every fucking button because I watched it live going up. 1, 2, 3.
I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna push everyone.
But yeah, chat. If you are subscribed, there is a channel in the Discord just below the called. In fact, I can show you now on this little
stream schedule.
The stream schedule. So
here
it's
in the information section.
You can see it on the screen. So
Mad Chat Campaign.
So Mad Chat Campaign, it's called, and you can actually go down on here.
I haven't voted.
And you can actually vote for what game you want to see next played starting this Monday.
So hang on, can everyone see it? But
everyone can see it, but only subscribers can actually vote.
Ah, fair enough.
All right.
Someone's just gone Titanfall 2. I think I'll do that. There you go. Just pop.
Yeah, I'm seeing it live. Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
See that?
At the moment.
I wouldn't mind seeing you play Evil West, but Titanfall 2.
I've got a plan. I've got a plan for Evil West, and that involves I've got a plan for it.
When it came out and everyone was like, "Wow, got on it," and they completed it so quickly, and it's nostalgic.
It's done, isn't it? Yeah, it's just like it's not really a game that you can do anything else with. But yeah, I've got a plan for that. Someone's going to be very happy. Anyway, so the games I was referring to that can help early access and stuff can help or destroy them was, do you guys remember when Rainbow Six Siege first released?
Oh yeah,
Vegas.
Yep.
No.
And
Siege.
one that you might know about, Victory and Morsey. I don't think me and Run Gun will. I might be wrong. Mass Effect Andromeda.
Andromeda.
Yeah. So basically, they came out the sort of same-ish kind of time, early access, same sort of thing, right? But they had so many bugs,
but not official.
So many bugs, right? So many fucking bugs that it was just like, yeah, it's early access, loads of bugs, no content, so many bugs on both sides. But Siege managed to clearly listened to the player base and turned itself around. Basically, I mean, Siege is one of the decade's most popular shooters, right?
Yeah.
Like,
because it's much more tactical and it's got some good actual.
But you never hear about anyone
team-based
playing
gameplay.
Mass Effect Andromeda anymore. Like, no one. It died.
It died because it was shit, and it's not a multiplayer game, so it can't be supported with microtransactions and season passes, which Siege has. I think it has season passes.
So there's probably many other factors in there. But that was just two that doing some research earlier they came up.
Yeah, a multiplayer game can easily survive, but a single player game that was in the piss ball condition that Andromeda was. I don't think that ever came out in alpha or beta or early access, but it definitely looked it. But that's just
Oh, actually talking about X to File, I've just literally had an email saying you've been invited to confirm to play.
Oh, goody! That's a live email. They must be watching. Must be sending one out.
Literally just thought I got an email popped up. I was like, oh, I'll have a quick look. It says, oh, you're invited.
To what?
Yeah, right. X Defiant for the.
Oh no, fuck that. Yeah, get rid of that shit, mate. Don't play that.
I won't play that.
I'm just like slamming on Ubisoft right now still.
That's the only thing I kind of do like.
Next division and I'll be like you again.
Yes. I told you what state it was in, didn't I? That they broke it. They broke the last update for Division so badly that the updater destroyed itself, and they have to. They literally have to recode the encoder not the recoder, the updater from scratch. That's how fucked it was.
It still is, isn't it? I don't know.
It's like if you tuned your car engine and the entire thing exploded, so you had to rebuild the whole engine from bits.
Okay, so player unknown Battlegrounds PUBG, right? Obviously that was in early access. But that was only in access, same as Minecraft, for about a year, and then they released it, right? The full game. But then there's some games here that I've got up now that have stayed in early access, right? Obviously we know about Tarkov's fucking, nearly 8 years in, right? Probably over 10 years with the, start of development. But DayZ stayed in early access for 5 years, right? Even though that was a mod, But obviously that got turned into a real game, right? Well, real game. What else have we got on here?
That's actually another point. DayZ was kept alive because people were modding the mod.
Yes.
And they were adding new features and content to it that it was keeping.
Mod safer game, yep, you're right.
Yeah, that has to be another topic. We've talked about it twice at least.
Sorry, people playing the closed beta. Happy. Yeah, same. I'm not allowed to talk about it, Ren. Apparently.
For that pirate game. Love that.
For that pirate game, I'm not allowed to talk about that pirate game.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That was a great game. How dare you?
That was amazing. Mod save most games, whether it's fixing or adding better content. Yeah, exactly. Keep games alive. Yeah.
That's how Bethesda with Fallout games treats their mod. They'll just say, "Oh, just let the modders fix it," because that's generally it's not official, but it is out their attitude. Because generally with like Fallout games, there's generally like a day one patch that's made by modders almost immediately.
Do you remember the cheeky fuckers Fortnite with the Save the World PvE content with their early access pay option? Do you remember for that fucking game?
Yeah, I remember that.
Even though the main thing was the Battle Royale and that was free. So they did the opposite. So instead of dangling a carrot with this free game, they were like, oh, buy this pay PvE game. Oh, by the way, there's this free PvP game. And then the free PvP game flew off. Crazy.
Yeah, it was... Obviously, there was a huge hype for PlayerUnknown. And then Fortnite sort of came out. And I guess it was a bit
out of early access now.
I actually have no idea.
Can someone Google that shit quick?
Yeah, I remember when it was still popular, and unfortunately, me and you were playing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and
although Fortnite no build is actually quite fun.
Yeah,
it is actually quite fun.
So, yeah, I don't know how Fortnite sort of took off. I guess it was because it was a less stressful PUBG. Let's face it had slightly better graphics as well, and it was more kid friendly.
3 years.
I guess,
and it's free to play.
And it's still in early access now.
No,
the only way you paid for the
After
only
3
way you paid
years.
for the game, there was like a campaign to it, wasn't there?
Yes, I remember. Yeah, I remember buying it.
So
Yonks
people were
ago.
buying that, but it was
Yeah.
basically a free game. They made their money out of skins and shit because
Yeah, that's how they make their
why
money.
not? And that
That's-
company made fucking millions in the first like 6 months. Honestly, it's ridiculous. It's
And
like
It's
Oh, that's all my
Nice.
daughter wanted for
Fortnite is
Christmas
garbage.
and birthdays for probably what 2
well,
years.
V-Bucks.
Mate,
V-Bucks.
my godson still asks me every time I go around there Christmas for V-Bucks. For
Wow.
yeah,
Really?
still yeah,
Oh,
V-Bucks, V-Bucks, V-Bucks this,
It's
V-Bucks
just,
that.
it's just a modern phenomenon. Like
It's mental.
like when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, the original came out, that was a phenomenon. When Halo 3 came out, that fucking blew everything out of the water.
Fortnite was not a battle royale game, but the survival tower defense game. Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
I
Came out in
remember when
2000
I
yeah,
remember when the very first trailer for that came out, and I thought, oh my god, this concept looks amazing. Where it sort of implied that you can destroy literally everything and pick
Yeah.
up scrap parts and use it to build things. I thought, oh, that's an amazing concept. It was nothing like that in the end,
No.
but
Mhm.
because whatever, and then the battle royale came out, and they said, oh, we're making a lot of money on this. Let's just focus
Yeah.
on that.
But again, as
That was
well,
it.
like it was the people they got on board, right? The streamers that are already well established within the gaming world and that sort of stuff that really pushed and highlighted the game, right? You know, anyone that's Shroud or fucking Ninja or whatever, any game that these guys play gets exposure, regardless, right? You know, regardless of whether you like those streamers or whatever games they play, Summit 1G or whatever games these streamers play, it's going to get exposure.
I mean, that's
you
why
know?
circling all the way back to the start of Minecraft being in beta,
Yeah,
it was the early days of YouTube, like really early. Well, not as early, but early enough days where like some of the biggest YouTubers were like the Angry Game Nerd, and
Yeah.
he does fuck all now, but he's got his money, so he doesn't need to. And there was like people started like talking about like, oh, hear this Minecraft game, it's like a multiplayer survival thing but in a weird cubic world, and just word spread and YouTubers were jumping on it. Then eventually once Twitch came out, streamers were doing it. I mean, Minecraft had this massive lull, but then it released an update about 3 years ago, and then it spiked in popularity again. And I think it overtook Fortnite at one point. That's how big it was. And but yeah,
surprised me.
there's like those YouTubers. I had no idea what Minecraft really was until this was yonks ago when I was like wee little shit, and I randomly watched I think it's a Yogscast video, just randomly popped up on my YouTube feed, and I watched it, and it was like they were making this entire story and massive world that they created. I was like, wow, this is amazing, fucking hell. And that's eventually how I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna play this game as well. And,
Yeah, but also like I love watching that
what I
content.
was saying is just like, yeah, it's in beta, but it was elevated to a point of being super successful due to creators.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same with DayZ and stuff like that. Does anyone remember Frankie on PC?
Yeah,
Frankie,
vaguely. I don't.
he used to do like almost like a story, right? So we'd have another friend that would play with him, and he would literally just do a full-on series, right, of 12 episodes, where he would survive DayZ, and you give yourself a quest or a backstory, la la la. And I remember just watching that shit and thinking, this is so fucking cool. You know what I mean? And I got bought into it that much that I'm like, I'm gonna play DayZ. I'm gonna buy DayZ. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get that fucking game, and I'm gonna do that shit. And then the reality is, when you get that game and you haven't got a plan and you're not making content, you have no idea what you're doing. It is the worst experience of your life, because it's all scripted and you don't realize that, and it's so well put together. But you're right, like content creators have a massive effect on
So that's what I'm thinking. Like
popularity on games and stuff.
That's why when a game says, "Oh, we're having a closed beta," they might announce that to everyone, but you guarantee that they're going straight to the creators first,
Of course.
and saying, oh, we're gonna give you some keys to access this as an NDA for a little bit, but you can say that you've played it, and you can say your initial impression, but then you can talk about it after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And then show gameplay and stuff like that. And it's sort of like a deal, like we're giving you early access to a game that we're working on, and eventually you'll be able to make a
plays,
video
that's it,
based on it, and just say, you don't have to say, well, we'd like you to say good things about it, but then you can make some money off that video eventually, and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, so does anyone know anything about Star Citizen? So Star Citizen is a massive multiplayer space trading sort of combat game, right?
Yeah,
it's very similar to Tarkov in their model of how they're.
You boys, I'm gonna have to go, mate.
No worries, Morsey. You
No
absolute
worries.
legend. Enjoy. See you soon.
Catch you soon.
Hello, mate.
You're here for an hour and a half, mate. All good.
So, like, that is still in a form of early access all on its own, right? So the game started. So we haven't even talked about Kickstarters and stuff yet, right? As a Kickstarter project in 2011, then quickly grew to accepting donations. Most of it's on its own site, right? Which is exactly what Tarkov's doing. Yo, Nero, how we doing, my man? So Tarkov has got its own launcher. It doesn't use Steam. It doesn't use Epic. It doesn't use any other platform to play and launch its game off of, right? The Star Citizen does the exact same thing. And basically, the way it works with Star Citizen, what I understand is like you buy a ship, yeah? The same with like Tarkov, you buy like a stash, basically. That's what it boils down to. Run, done it. You pay this amount for this many squares, you pay this amount for this many squares, and then you pay the top amount for the big squares, right?
Yep.
Now, with Star Citizen, they actually sell ships that they've not even fucking created yet.
I was going to bring that up about All Star Citizen. Problem is, I don't know a massive amount on it. I know about the ships and all that, and those are, at the end of the day, microtransactions, and very likely the next podcast will be involved in that.
Yeah. We could definitely open that up.
Oh, save that can of worms for that podcast. That's what I was.
But again, that's 2011, right?
Yeah. So what I fucking hate about Star Citizen, what I know about it, is that it might be what you can get right now is a really good game, but it was already massively funded. It had like 155 mil or something like that in donations alone.
Yep.
And then they started releasing ships saying, "Oh yeah, that'll cost you like £200, literally 200 quid." I'm just like, what, for an in-game ship for a game that's already massively funded? What? Why are you not, finishing the fucking game? Like, Jesus Christ.
Exactly. And my worry is the same things happen with Tarkov, right?
Yeah, Ren said that he knows everything about Star Citizen, loves the game, so he'll definitely probably be the one to ask about it then.
Yeah, definitely.
So probably get him on the next podcast to big it up while we're.
We're gonna have to get you on one of these podcasts, Ren. 100%. We're gonna have to get you on one of these podcasts, dude. Again, Star Citizen's, it's a slightly different beast. But I think, like, you're right, Vic, it will more fall under the other bracket of kind of the microtransaction kind of thing. It
was one of those games that was insanely hyped, and when the first sort of trailers came out from explaining what the game was going to be, they said, "Oh, we're going to publicly fund it. Hopefully, you can help us out." But after explaining everything, they said, "Oh, after it gets funded, it will probably take us 5-6 years to actually develop." That was fine because you were saying, "Look, we get your idea, we love it, we get behind it with the Kickstarter," which a lot of fucking people did, and just go from there. I was thinking about the Kickstarter. I can't remember if it was someone on my friend's side who. There was a game that came out a while ago called Planetary Annihilation. I think he put down like 200 quid into it, and it was a game that sort of a game called Planetary Annihilation. It was like a strategy. It was like a Supreme Commander not spin-off, like a successor in a regard. And Star Citizen will be offering
$27,000 DLC bundle.
What? Fucking hell!
For those that already spent $1,000. Because you spent £1,000, now spend 27. Give us 28 grand.
How is a game that has been funded like 7 times over its original budget?
And that sounds like a fucking scam to me, dude.
Yeah, that is a fucking scam.
That sounds scammy as fuck.
That's a fucking point. It's not only scammy, it's probably going to be... It's more of a scam than the fucking... What was it, the day before? It's turning out to be. And they rebuilt this game from scratch in 2016. Well, they're idiots then. Oh, legal issues with Lumberyard.
Oh, okay. This plugin includes a total of 117 ship, almost every ship in the game. Almost, but then after you've bought that package, there's going to be another ship that's worth 22 grand.
First, you need to have already spent £1,000 on the game. Otherwise, you need to take it. What the fuck? That's insane.
Wow.
Spending that amount of money, I better get to fucking have a sit down, maybe a chat and a lunch with Mark Hamill because he's meant to be in the game. Like, I would have talked Star Wars with that boy. And like how he got fucked in the last sequel films.
Ain't it World of Ships? Oh, I don't know about all that stuff. I mean, you've played that, Vic. Ginger's definitely played those sort of games.
World of Warships.
World of Tanks, World of Warships, all that sort of shit.
I've recently had a really big long bash on World of Tanks, and I have played a bit of World of Warships. But the microtransactions in that are a bit shit. There's a premium service which is a bit shit, but at the same time, it's not fucking 27 grand's worth of ridiculousness.
All I paid was 35 quid for the starter ship and bought most. So it's like Tarkov then, in the fact that you can buy like the basic shit and you can upgrade your shit to get the best shit. There's a lot of shit in that sentence.
Yeah. Yeah. World of Tanks there's like a premium service, then there's like a battle pass as well. There's a
right, okay.
They got like that and that. There's loads and loads of skins. There's loads of premium tanks. It's never really. At no point does it like sort of push it down your throat, if you know what I mean. Like it says, "Oh, you must buy this." But we're really moving into the fucking.
We are. Chat, can you do me a favor while you're all here now and you're all active? Can you click on that link I've just posted and pick your choice for the next topic to talk about? I just want to break this up a little bit. Now, we actually got a comment on our YouTube channel about what to rant about. And on our last video, and you never guess who it was that commented on it. And blah, 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 blah. I'm pausing that shit. So the top comment we got, chat, was 8 days ago by the legend, which we all know as Fish Pig. Fish Pig put rant equals. That guy Fish Pig, he has the same gamer tag as me. That constantly streams as Division 2 on Twitch. And why doesn't he get more views? Should he switch his camera on or tell a few jokes to reel in the punters? What do you reckon, chat? What do you think he should do? I would love to see fucking Fish Pig with a cam on. Fish, if you're watching this, I will help you set the fucking cam up.
No, what he needs to do, you know, VTubers. He needs to become a VTuber, but he needs to be like dressed up in Division 2 attire.
Okay. Let me reply to this.
Except his anime model has gigantic cans. It's like, how do I PC that? And yeah, and that will fucking rake in the fucking viewers, I guarantee.
Or if you want a pro tip, Fish,
play something else.
Get off Division.
Yeah, play another game, maybe.
Problem solved, Fish.
So I did.
Easy.
Webcam with Div 2 cosplay should grow viewer base. And
oh fucking hell.
Also play
oh Ginge, what a horrible comment.
something that is
That's the first one tonight.
Not
You're slacking, Ginge.
broken. Love you, Fish. Cool. Hopefully, you'll get that next week. Right.
Monday.
Yo, Kenny, how you doing, dude? I'm gonna pretend that I haven't seen that comment. I'm gonna pretend I haven't seen that. Right. Recap. Early access. Good, bad, ugly. What do we think?
We mostly talked about good, rather than there's ugly, there was good, there was a little bit of bad. So we did cover a little bit of everything there.
All right. So basically, what we've discovered is it comes down to personal opinion
It's
of whether
personal
whether you like it
opinion,
or not.
It's how it's managed.
Yes,
Definitely.
that's the top thing that I'd like to suggest. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
So-
how it's managed, right?
Yeah. It's a baking roll. Okay. Yeah, it's like as I said earlier, it's like
Yeah.
if a company goes to the streamers and YouTubers and says, "Hey, we got this beta coming out. Please make a video on it to get people more hyped."
Oh, the amount of
That's-
money these. Right. So I actually saw a video. Sorry to interrupt, but you've jogged my memory. I saw a video of this YouTuber that literally said that in this video that this company paid him like something like £3,000 just to make, and that's just a one-off. There you go. It's £3,000 just to make a 10-minute YouTube video on their game.
Nice.
£3,000.
And that video, if it's a big
Grand.
enough, if it's a big enough YouTuber though, you got to think about that from a company standpoint.
Yep. Exactly.
Because that grand wasn't shit for them as far as their marketing budget, and they probably got more reach than what they would have got elsewhere.
Yep. You're right. And splashing it all over, even splashing it all over social media or whatever. Do you know what I mean? They probably got more reach.
Do you know what game it was? If you can jog.
I can't remember, mate. I can't remember what game it was.
Because
I don't think the guy even said what game it was.
Because it might be. It depends on the game as well.
I think it was like one of those, those. He was live on Twitch and someone was asking him about it, but he didn't disclose what game it was or whatever. But he said that they'd approached him and gave him this money to do it, basically.
Yeah, because if it's like a game that you think you literally will play it for a couple of hours or something, you've got a couple of hours of footage, you chop it down into 10 minutes, £3,000 in your pocket.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, that is so easy.
So, any game developers out there that want Mad Marsh to test a game or play a game and make a YouTube video on it, and want to pay me £3,000, I am more than open to the idea.
I am open as well, although I will make a silly video compared to Marsh's more serious ones.
I tell you what, you pay me £2,000, I'll give Victor £1,000 for editing it.
Sweet.
There you go. Deal done.
Fucking
And,
that's a cracking deal, actually.
and we'll send some love over to Rundown on the other side of the pond.
Issue my editing. I go for more comedy style. You go for more seriousness.
I will pay you £3 to play the Leisure Suite Larry series.
Isn't that like a really bad porn game? Essentially, it's like
and me £1,000 to listen to you complain about it.
There are much better games for him to play on. If you go to new and trending on Steam, there's a Sexy Valentine. There's Sex with Hitler on there. Sex with Stalin. There's a lot of wrong games on there.
Bren's put a really good point in there. So it's good for development, but bad for gaming industry as a whole. It encourages smaller companies to release a game early, do small, lazy updates, make some money, and then not finish the game. Yes, I think it does. It does give a platform for that. But then on the flip side, on the positive side of that, Ren, it also gives these crowdfunded startup, Kickstarter, very small indie companies the ability to actually make a game that is actually serious about it. You know what I mean? So there's definitely a negative and positive. And you are right. Unfortunately, that happens more often than it should, I think, personally, with games that are fucking fantastic. It's a perfect example. That kind of make the games and then just abandon them, make some money and abandon them. Exactly.
I just
Good
found
for
a game
development and bad for the whole. Yeah.
I just found an early access game called Fuck Hitler, and it's like a ragdoll physics engine where you just kill Hitler constantly.
Okay.
So yeah, that sounds like an early access game I can get behind.
Oh, What was this game that I was told you about the other day, Vic?
A little bit of bubbly. Go on.
A bit of the bubbly. What was it called? It's
I cannot remember you telling me about a game.
there's a game, a Russian roulette game. It's free on Steam, right?
Oh yeah, you did.
And it is a game where you go into the map, right? You go into the map, and you can play Russian roulette, right?
Should I just type in Russian roulette into
Steam? And it will come up. Yeah, it's called
Russian fishing.
Russian roulette, one life, full play for you. Oh, it's a thingy. So basically, you play Russian roulette, and if the gun goes off, your account's forever gone. You can never play the game again. And outside of the house that you play in, there is a graveyard and a tombstone of all the players that have played the game and died in the game. But let me know if you want me to play it on stream, like before a stream or whatever, and I'll play it.
Nothing's coming up on Steam apart from an actual game called Russian Roulette, but that doesn't appear to be.
That is it. That should be it. It's called Russian Roulette.
Really?
Yes, it's on Steam.
For what? What, for the 79p one?
Oh no, it should be free.
This doesn't look like a.
Oh, that's not it, is it?
No, it doesn't appear to be on Steam, or it's under some other name.
There's one for 99 cents.
Yeah, that's not the right one. That's not the right one. Maybe it's been banned. I've just told chat about it and it's been banned. Oh, it might be banned. You don't know. Yeah, it's Russian roulette. One life, full playthrough. All right, let me click on the video and find out.
Tap your inspiration.
Shut up. Okay, so let me see what this says. Oh, okay, I can click it here. So download Russian Roulette One Life. It's called Russian Roulette One Life for free on Steam. You find yourself in a dark forest around you and there are 100 graves. You don't know how you ended up there. You can only see a shack in the middle of the woods. You walk towards it inside and you find a man who offers you a game that you cannot refuse to play. Basically, you can't do anything else in this game apart from play this man's game of Russian Roulette. And if you die, you can never play the game again.
Only Fortnite had that mechanic.
Mad, isn't it?
It is pretty bonkers.
You'd have to set up a new Steam account to play it again if you want to play it again.
I just go for all the work and setting it up again, and then you fucking die immediately again. It's just, God damn it! Or you find one of those sites that changes your IP address constantly.
But they're really clever, right? So talking about microtransactions, this might come up. You can buy immortality.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
So you can buy like a life. Oh, I think it's brilliant. I think it's just fucking outside the box. It's only a little fucking. The graphics look terrible, but you know, but yeah, it looks good. It looks funny. It definitely looks funny. Right, we need to check.
Shortest stream fucking ever.
We need to check the votes.
No need microtransactions. One.
You or someone who... Oh, we've already voted, Vic. It says you or someone in your Wi-Fi network have voted on this poll.
Oh, that was me.
I can't actually see the results of this poll.
Oh, did I fuck it up for you?
Oh, results. There you go.
I didn't think the Wi-Fi would fuck it up.
So we've got seven votes on microtransactions. So I think we are
any others?
Definitely. We had one vote for third-party game stores. Now that doesn't mean that third-party game stores, and what I meant by that was like G2
CD keys,
CD keys, that sort of stuff. How they work, what their business model is. Are they actually as bad as what people say they is? Are they as good as what people say it is? Maybe then we can get into grips of how much Steam actually takes off these developers. You know, that a lot of people don't realize. Oh, I want to give to Steam because I want to support the developers. Yeah. When you actually work out how much money Steam takes off the developers, You know which one's in the wrong. You know, CD keys or Steam. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there is a shit ton of juicy content you can probably get out of just the Steam versus Epic launcher. Like, you know, like Epic releases free games. The amount of money they must be paying the developers to do that,
Oh yeah.
to get people onto their platform must be insane. Like I think that when they had GTA 5 for free on there, the popularity or the use spiked by like well, a lot. I can't give a number, but like people using it just skyrocketed. And it's just like, how much money do you fucking pay Rockstar for that ability to do that? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Multiple millions.
That's mad. Right. Guys, it looks like microtransactions as one, you know, down to the ground. So that'll be the next topic in a couple of weeks. So just to give you guys the date in a couple of weeks it will actually be the 1st of Feb. No, March. It'll be the 1st of March will be the next podcast chat. Be the next podcast on the 1st of March. And we will be discussing microtransactions. I would like to ask Ren, if you are free at any point of that evening, would you mind popping in and discussing Star Citizen's business model? You know, what you know about it, what you've already played about it. That would be really, really helpful. And hopefully, please, someone from YouTube, please comment like Fishpig did on a topic that we can rant about, because we need to get Ren's rants going. If you've never heard Ren rant, it is the best fucking thing in the world. And it's a really good segment. And it's so good as a segment. I love it.
Would it be like one of those like editing in between the podcast where like everything goes black and it's just like Ren's rants, and then it cuts straight back,
yes.
and then he starts like.
Well, no, I've got all this stuff. I've got censor stuff. I've got a proper theme tune for Ren's rants. It's like Ren's rants.
Was that it?
Ren's rants.
Ren's rants. Nothing.
Ren's rants. It's fucking class. It's classic as fuck. Love it. But yeah,
reminds me.
I've got loads of stuff.
Reminds me of the song you made for Joel back in the day. Jolie.
But yeah, so Red, if you're around in a couple of weeks' time, that'll be awesome. So guys that are watching this on the YouTubes, don't forget to pop your subject on the comments. The video will either be going up on Friday or it'll be going up on Saturday morning at the latest. I tried to get it all done on Friday during the day, which it normally is up and rocking and rolling at that time. So yeah, that'll be up on the YouTubes.
Don't forget to like the sub and sub the share button.
And all that rubbish.
Comment on the description.
Really helps with the algorithm, guys.
Yeah, the algorithm. What's up, guys? Podcast here. Before you listen to anything, make sure that you like, favorite, subscribe, even though you haven't watched the video yet. Fuck you. Give me money. So long. It's just 90% of the fucking YouTubers now.
Tell us how you really feel, Victor.
It's unfortunate. They have to do it now. Like most of them, they have to do it. The algorithm is such a cunt nowadays.
Saturated market, unfortunately. 10% of your viewers are subscribed. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, looking at the analytics, only 10% of you that are watching this video right now are subscribed. So smash that. I can't stand it. It does my nutting.
Oh, no, was it? Who was it?
I kind of want to do the most boring one in the world, like sub if you want, like if you want.
It's like a.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's
the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Complete opposite. But anyway, it's there for you guys to catch up on.
Marsh, I just thought you got to expand into reaction videos, but have the most plain reaction going.
Oh right, yeah.
It's like then you watch this horrible video, but you don't do anything, and you're just like, wow, that was crazy. Well, anyway, like, favorite, subscribe if you want more awesome reactions.
The thing that annoys me, the pog face thumbnails. Fucking, I know, mate. I know. I'm getting good at making thumbnails now, though. I've slowly learned some software. Sub, not ring the bell, or
ring the bell.
Not.
Do not
care. I do not. And also, it's the
Younger.
it's the YouTubers that tell everyone to dislike their videos. If you dislike the videos, put a thumbs down because every little helps. It's just like what the fuck. Wise
No,
words,
we
Yoga.
can't have it. We can't have a dislike version. I'm the ghost of YouTube, despite the fact most people, like this wonderful guy Victory T, I happen to know him quite well, has a plugin for his browser which actually reinstates the Discord number, so you can still see the count.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got there might be one on like Chrome and shit. But yeah, on Firefox, on Firefox, that they removed the dislike button, but then there was a plugin that just put it back. So it was just like.
I'll tell you what, right? I'll tell you what we're gonna do, chat. Because I mean, most of you probably will, but please, will you just do this for me, okay? We're gonna go and raid Fishpig, who commented on the YouTube video. He's playing Division. Can we please go into his chat and tell him to get a webcam? Tell him to get a cosplay costume together.
That's a great idea.
And if you're not already following his channel, can you please just follow his channel? That would literally mean the world to him.
Do like hashtag wear webcam or something like that.
But
or,
yeah,
where is webcam?
but or, yeah, exactly. Yeah, anything. Yeah, we can all put the same thing if you want. But yeah, I think that'd be really good. It'd be really fun.
BV tuber.
Yeah, definitely. Right, Run Gun, thank you so much, you legend, and Victory T, thank you so much. Hopefully, we will. I'd like to get as many of us in there as possible for the next one. It could get a bit messy. It's like a big. When I was researching how to do podcasts, it was like a big no-no to have like 5 or 6 people on. Like it's better if it's just more intimate with 1 or 2. But I'm like, no, fuck it, get as many people in there as we can.
Well, they'll be yelling over each other. That's the issue.
I can follow him. Oh, what? But yeah, we're gonna go and raid Fishpig now. But yeah, thanks very much, guys. I'll be back with you in a minute.
Legend. Be sure to like the like and follow the comment.
Here we go. Any final words, Ron?
Edit the description in the share like button.
BattleBit playtest this weekend.
It's what?
BattleBit playtest this weekend.
That's this weekend.
when you were deafened earlier introducing the stream, that he was just like, oh, you want to play that BattleBit? I'm like, just like, oh, I might look at it. So that's all he's going to be playing this weekend.
Oh god! Right. Anyway, we muted those guys now. So we're going to be back tomorrow, chat. Just so you know, tomorrow, obviously we're proper on DMZ at the moment, and the updates just come out. So we're going to be testing the waters tomorrow to see what all the new changes are. So even if you're not into it, I'd appreciate you just to pop on by, as you always do anyway. And we'll have a laugh in the chat and see what this new update's all about. You never know, some of you might want to come play or whatever. But yeah, looking forward to that. So we'll be back tomorrow from 7, as usual, and we'll be for a fully fledged weekend. Our weekend starts tomorrow, so there'll be plenty of content coming your way. But again, if you are watching on YouTube, just do what Victory said. I don't know what he said, but do what he said. That would be awesome. And we are going to go and raid Fishpig. So let's get in there. If you haven't already followed, could you please follow? It'd be absolutely amazing. And again, thank you, Fish, for commenting on the last YouTube. That means a lot, man. Unfollow and unsub. Right. Right, chat. Without further ado, love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.